This week, someone left a comment on my last video that stopped me. They said, no one talks about the transition from stage 2 to stage 3 taking longer than you'd expect. It's not a sudden big break, it's baby steps. And I'm not a fan of the patience required after doing the work and surviving the grief. I read that and I thought, they're right. I didn't go deep enough on this. So this video is my response. If you've done the work, the therapy, the journaling, the hard conversations, the letting go, and you're still waiting for stage 3 to fully arrive, this video is for you. My name is Hannah Ola, and today we're going into the gap. Last week, I introduced the becoming map, the 3 stages every major life transition moves through. Stage 1, the before self. Stage 2, the liminal space. Stage 3, the emerging self. And most of the conversation about transition focuses on the move from stage 1 to stage 2. The decision to leave, the grief of letting go, the courage of the in-between. But what about the move from stage 2 to stage 3? What about the people who have already done the hard work, who have sat in the liminal space, named the grief, survived the pressure to go back, and are still waiting? Still waiting for the fog to lift. Still waiting for the clarity to arrive. Still waiting to feel like themselves again. Here is the reframe I want to offer you today. You see, the gap in between stage 2 and stage 3 is not a malfunction. It is a feature. It is not evidence that you did something wrong. It is evidence that what you are becoming is significant enough to take time. I want to explain why the gap exists between stage 2 and stage 3. There are 3 reasons the move from stage 2 to stage 3 takes longer than people expect. And I want to name all 3 because naming them is half the work. The first is that identity doesn't update on demand. You can change your circumstances overnight. You can leave the job and end the relationship, walk away from the community. The external transition can happen in a moment, but the internal transition, the deep reconfiguration of how you see yourself, what you believe you're capable of, what you believe you deserve, that moves at a different pace. And until your self-concept catches up with your reality, you will feel the gap. Not because you're behind, but because integration takes time. The second reason is that stage 3 is built from evidence, not intention. You cannot decide your way into stage 3. You cannot think yourself there, or journal yourself there, or affirm yourself there. You see, stage 3 is built slowly from repeated choices that confirm the new identity. From showing up as the person you're becoming again and again until the new story becomes the one you actually believe. Every time you speak up in a room where you used to stay silent, that's a brick. Every time you make a decision without asking permission, that's a brick. Every time you choose your own becoming over someone else's comfort, that's a brick. Stage 3 is built one brick at a time. Baby steps, as that comment said. Baby steps that are doing more structural work than they appear to. The third reason is the most subtle and possibly the most important. Some part of you doesn't fully trust stage 3 yet. And that's because stage 3 is unfamiliar. The before self, for all its limitations, was known, predictable, safe in its smallness. And the emerging self, well, she's capable of things the before self couldn't imagine, which means she is also exposed in ways the before self never had to be. Visibility, responsibility, the weight of becoming who you always suspected you could be. That is not always comfortable. And the discomfort of it can look from the inside like being stuck, when actually you are standing at the threshold of something real, and some part of you is taking breath before stepping fully through. Let's talk about what the gap actually requires. So if the gap is a feature, not a malfunction, what does it actually require of you? 3 things. The first is patience without passivity. There is a difference between waiting actively and waiting passively. Passive waiting looks like, I've done the work. Now I'll sit here until something happens. Active waiting looks like, I've done the work. Now I'll keep showing up as the person I'm becoming, while the internal landscape catches up. You are not waiting for stage 3 to arrive. You are constructing it quietly, consistently, one decision at a time. The second thing the gap requires is the willingness to grieve the timeline you expected. You see, most people in this stage are not just grieving who they used to be, they are grieving the version of stage 3 they thought would have arrived by now. Let that sink in. The clarity that was supposed to come, the opportunities that were supposed to open, the feeling of arrival that was supposed to follow the work. And when those things don't materialize on schedule, it can feel like transition has failed. It hasn't. The timeline you expected was always a guess. The timeline that's actually unfolding is built around what you need, not what you imagined. Grieve the expected timeline. Release it with the same honesty that brought you to releasing everything else, and keep going. The third thing And I want to say this carefully. The gap requires you to stop treating your becoming as something that needs to be justified to others and to yourself. You do not need to be fully formed to be fully worthy. You do not need to have arrived to deserve the space you are taking up. You are allowed to be in process. You are allowed to be becoming without having become. That permission is not conditional on reaching stage 3. It applies right now, in the gap, exactly where you are. To the person who left that comment, and to everyone who read it and felt seen, you are not behind. You are not broken. You are not failing the transition. You are in the gap. And the gap, as uncomfortable as it is doing something in you that the work alone could not do. It is building the kind of patience that becomes wisdom, the kind of endurance that becomes authority, the kind of knowing that only comes from having waited long enough to trust what emerged. Stage 3 is coming, not because you deserve it, although you do, but because you are already building it, one brick at a time, one decision at a time, one day at a time. My name is Hannah Ola. If this named something you've been living, subscribe. We go deeper every week. And drop a comment. Where are you in the gap right now? I read every single one.